Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Beauty Connective podcast, where beauty professionals all over the industry are coming together to grow, connect, and get real about what it's like mixing business and beauty. This episode is brought to you by the Beauty Connective, a brand new beauty directory and search engine created by beauty professionals for beauty professionals that makes it easier than ever for clients in your local area to filter by location, pricing, availability, and read reviews to find you without you having to be on the social media grind. Today, I'm joined by somebody who I've been so inspired by since I was a baby nail tech. Not only is she a wickedly talented nail artist, but she also is one of the most thoughtful educators I've ever learned from. The owner of the Nail Suite, a brand new mama, and my friend, Sofia Wood.
Thank you so much. That was the nicest intro. She did not read that intro to me before, and I'm just so pleasantly surprised.
Surprise. I really have been, when I was a baby nail tech, when I was first getting into it, I found your account on Instagram and just really gravitated towards you, just your style and your personal brand and your nails, of course, and your education so much, and took a one-on-one from you soon after I graduated.
Right.
And it's just been so fun to get to know you over the last couple of years. So I'm so excited that you're here.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's also been so exciting for me to see you kind of from where you started, also with the Beauty Connective and this podcast and where that's gone. That is so exciting. And it's looked like it's been so successful and fun.
Thank you. And I'm so excited because we get to teach together this fall at the nail retreat.
Yes, I'm so excited. That'll be so fun to start planning and figuring out topics and everything.
So exciting. It's going to be so much fun. And we're talking about something really important today. That we actually, about a year ago, I came down and you did my nails last Valentine's Day. They were the cutest Valentine's nails. Yes. And you were feeling, or just sharing your thoughts about the idea that working in the beauty industry is not seen as much of a career, or it's not respected in the same way as other careers.
Yes.
So let's maybe start just with your journey in nails and how you've gotten to where you are now.
Okay. Yes, that sounds great. And I mean, yeah, I remember that appointment as well, because I was kind of wanting some hey, do you feel insecure about being a nail tech too? I don't know. I wish that I wasn't, but I definitely, growing up, I wasn't insecure about nails because it was just my hobby, I grew up loving nails ever since I was 8 years old. I got a little makeup kit from my grandma that had a couple nail polish bottles in it. And I was not the girliest girl, but I definitely liked art and I loved drawing and painting. And I was hey, this is kind of artsy. Let's see what I can make with these little polish bottles. And soon I was doing my mom's nails, my grandma's nails, the ladies in the neighborhood, my sisters and cousins and everything. And not once did I think, wow, I could do this growing up. I thought, man, this would be cool if I could do this as my job, but oh well, I can't, that's just not really, I never thought, yeah, nails can be my full-time job and I can actually make my career out of this and I can be well respected and admired and feel confident in what I'm doing for my family and everything. And I think another part of it too is that in school, I was never a great test taker. So I felt insecure about my intelligence there, and not necessarily with math, because I actually was pretty good at math. That was my best subject. But I was very insecure with reading and comprehension. And, even when I went to take the test for getting certified as a nail tech, I did a practice test and I failed that practice test. My boyfriend at the time took a practice test as well, and he got a 90. And I'm what the heck? I'm how did you get a 90 and you don't even do nails or no nails? Why? And even when I was going to take my actual exam, I was so scared that I was going to fail and that it would just prove to myself that, yeah, you're not smart even in what you think you're good at. You think you're good at nails, but no, you won't pass this, Luckily, I got literally the bare minimum. I got I think it's 70. I think you have to get 70. I got 70%. And I was oh my gosh, I passed, thank heavens. But I was definitely insecure the whole time. And I never wanted to tell anyone like what my score was. In fact, I never have till this moment. But
this is big.
yeah. So yeah, I was very insecure about that, and just the stereotype about people in the beauty industry. I feel like it's not just the beauty industry, though. Like, I also feel like there are other careers that also get kind of downplayed or get labeled as dumb. And I do have thoughts that maybe we can get to later about why I think that is. But I guess that's kind of where my journey started and how I felt insecure. I did go to college, but I did nails as a part-time job while finishing my degree. And I've just been doing it ever since, because I started to get fuller and fuller with clients. And I thought, oh my gosh, like this could actually be like a career. This could be my full-time job. And my mom was so supportive. She was like, yeah, you should absolutely like start a business, you know? And I'm grateful that I had her support in that. But
so did you ever at one point plan on going, like pursuing a career after your degree, like outside of nails?
So I was planning for my degree, I was planning on being a math teacher, because I thought, okay, what degree can I do that first off I'm good at and that people will think is impressive? So I was like, yeah, I'm going to do math education. But then seriously, I did not enjoy, like I wasn't enjoying my career. I wasn't really enjoying my job. And I was like, well, maybe I should do like psychology, because I really liked my psychology class for education, and just do like a math minor, you know, so I switched it to that. Then I don't know, I just kept really trying to keep math in there, because that would confirm, okay, you're smart, Sophia, like, because you want to do math. But yeah, no, I never considered like doing, I really didn't know. I didn't have direction as to like what I wanted to do until my mom was like, just, you know what, do nails as a part-time job and just like figure it out from there. And I'm like, okay, maybe I can try to be like some academic advisor or like work in some offices and I don't know, be seen as more like smart. I don't know.
I relate, and I feel like looking back, I think I felt the same way. I liked doing nails when I was younger, but it never a single time crossed my mind, do this as a career. Never. And so I think, I don't know what it was, but I didn't even know that was a possibility either. But one thing that I do think is interesting about your story that you shared is that it doesn't sound like that stopped you anyways. Like
Yes,
you still pursued
right.
nails. What kind of like was the driver, even though you were kind of feeling this way about it not being a real career?
I think just because it was so fun. Like I just really wanted to. And I couldn't believe the first day of class, like at nail school, we were literally doing pedicures. I'm like, what? Like for class, we're giving each other pedicures? Like this is the best. Like I just had so much fun. And I just really, I think what motivated me was there were a lot of my friends and family and, you know, friends of friends that wanted me to do their nails. And I didn't feel like I could keep doing their nails without having a license, you know, because I'm sure a lot of nail techs, before they actually get their license, they do friends' nails and they're like, oh yeah, pay me whatever you want. I can't really, you know, officially charge you because I'm not licensed. But I think that was the motivator of me getting my license was, okay, well, I do want to charge so that I can do this part-time until I can find my real job, you know?
Yeah. When did you start to realize that like this was more than just a hobby for you?
I think when I realized there were a lot more people interested in getting their nails done or learning from me than I realized. And I was like, wow, there's so much potential here. Like, oh my gosh, I barely have room to like fit in my clients. Maybe I should go full time. Then I can fit them in. Then I got some nail techs like reaching out to me being like, hey, I'd love to learn how you do this. Like, do you do one-on-ones? And I was like, oh my gosh, I wanted to go to school to teach math. But really, I guess I'm going to start teaching nails. Like I can still do teaching, but it's going to be something that I'm even more passionate about than math, you know? And so, yeah, that's when I realized I'm like, dang, I could probably like actually start. I never thought that I could be an educator for nails. Like, let's try it out. And that's when I started looking into getting my instructor's license and started doing one-on-ones, which was like so rewarding. I loved that.
And I can personally like attest as one of your students. I mean, I did a one-on-one with you. I've taken your online course. I like learned from you at the nail tech retreat 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like I have learned so much from you, and you really are like such a talented educator, not just a nail tech. Like doing nails and being good at nails is one thing. Teaching nails and being good at teaching nails is like a whole other thing.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, I love that you've been able to pursue that and be so successful at it.
Thank you.
So there's so much more involved in just being a nail tech. I mean, I shouldn't even just say just being a nail tech, but like there's so much more involved in being a nail tech than I think a lot of people realize.
Yeah.
Yeah, just these negative stereotypes that like, oh, you're just painting nails. You're
Yeah, like coloring, like little, it seems almost little kiddish. Like, oh, like you're just painting. I don't know. Like that's, I think, what I believe some people have in their minds, which is what makes me feel insecure, is because they're thinking, oh yeah, she's just like mindlessly painting, like doesn't require like that much skill. You know, when really it's like the total opposite of that. But I think that in my personal experience, no one has really ever made comments that have made me feel lesser because of my career or because I do nails or because I, teach nails or whatever. But I do feel like society, and in movies especially, I see that stereotype. Like there's always like, oh, the ditzy blonde girl, beauty school, whatever, that your friend likes to gossip with. And I just like hate that. I'm like, why do you have to paint every beauty professional as like some dumb ditzy drama queen? Because in the nail industry, I have met some of the most genuine, incredible, amazing people that I've ever met in my life that are so real and kind and talented. And so it just makes me like so upset that like the world has kind of put that image on beauty professionals,
Mm-hmm. Totally. And it couldn't be less true. I mean, it's just literally false. Like I think another like sort of misconception is like, oh, you sort of default to beauty school because you couldn't make it in college.
Exactly.
Or something like that.
Yes. And I felt like that was actually kind of like a lot of me thinks like, dang, like why did I go to college? Like it really was because I was trying to prove that, oh yeah. And man, I still to this day, like when people like, if I do tell them that I do nails, when I'm feeling insecure, I do feel like I have to add in there, but I also got my degree, and it's like, Sophia, why do you have to do that? Why do you have to like just add that in there? But I do. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like, just so you know, I also like, I've been educated too.
Yeah. Like I try to explain myself and that's so exhausting, to try to like explain yourself and like prove that you're like worth something.
Yeah. And it should be seen as just a different path, just like a different career than not like it wasn't college or it's not a degree or whatever. It's just a different way. It's just you're learning a trade and building a career out of it, which can be so successful, very lucrative, and just you could actually bypass college, which I feel the same. Like looking back, I'm like, dang, if I could have just done this and not gone to college, like college wasn't that fun for me. I didn't like love it. I felt really directionless, kind of similar to how it sounds like you felt too. It was just like, I don't know what career that I want to do after this really. And so the fact that like nail techs now can like get their license in high school and just like start a career right away, I think is so cool.
Start early. Like that is so amazing. And I mean, do I like regret going to college? No. Like I definitely had great experiences and I'm really happy, and my life wouldn't be what it is now without having gone there. But I do think like, I don't know, with my future kids, like I'm definitely not going to like require that they go to college. I think that they can do and be successful with like whatever they want to do and they're passionate about,
And so let's kind of talk about everything that like running a successful nail business entails that people don't think about when they think about doing nails.
Yes. So I think that a lot of times intelligence is measured by things that are more objective, numbers, right and wrong, which math and science are more that way. But I really loved this one class that I took actually in college that was on psychology. And I remember our teacher explaining like Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences, where there are people that have very high intellect. They just show it in various different ways. And so I was looking at all of those different intelligences, and I was thinking of how nail techs really resemble so many, if not all, of these intelligences, which was really interesting. So, like, the first one is linguistic intelligence, which you have to be good with words. You have to be good with your marketing, with how you teach, breaking down nail art step by step. The next one was like logical mathematical, which you wouldn't really think, like they use a lot of math like in nails. But when you are running like your numbers or figuring out pricing or how to figure out your inventory and organize yourself, that requires a lot of math and like logical and critical thinking. Also, spatial intelligence. So kind of like being aware of like surroundings and how things fit together, even on a nail, on a little tiny canvas. Like, how can I make this proportional? How do I make this symmetrical? How do I make it look nice to the eye? Those are a lot of things that nail techs do. Color harmony, and also like visualizing a finished result before you even start. Like, you have to have it mapped out in your head, start to finish. And that requires a certain type of intelligence to be able to do. Also, like bodily kinesthetic intelligence. Controlling your brush pressure, adjusting your body and your posture and your client so that you can get the best possible result and angle for what you're trying to do. Another one is like interpersonal intelligence, where you are good with people. You know, you're sitting face to face with someone for like 2+ hours. Like, you better be good at keeping a conversation like natural, helping your client feel comfortable, kind of reading the room, shifting energy if things are kind of feeling weird. Like, you have to know how to deal with sometimes unhappy customers. Like, that requires a lot of people skills. Also, intrapersonal intelligence, where you're kind of like more introspective and are like setting goals, which I admire you a lot for this, because I remember when we were at the retreat in Bear Lake that you were like, I just have all these ideas and I have like this thing that I want to do and I really want this to come to life. So anyway, those are just some of the intelligences that I was like, dang, nail techs like are intelligent. And I think that that really helped me when I was feeling self-conscious to just recognize everything that I truly actually do. And I don't think that it's our job to convince everyone that nail techs are like super intelligent, but I think believing that ourselves like will really start to change the narrative almost without even trying to. Like, people will see like our confidence and our desire to help people and create and our passion for it, and they'll respect us more for that.
Oh my gosh, this is just like all speaking to me so much. Like, I love how you shared all of those different types of intelligences, because when you really start to think about it, nail techs are really juggling a lot of different things at once.
Totally.
When clients are coming in and you're, you know, connecting with them and having conversations with them while you're simultaneously doing really specific technical things and balancing a lot of things in your head all at once. And you're doing this multiple times a day, back to back to back to back. When you think about it, it's so impressive. Like,
yeah, it's actually insane.
It really is. And it's like you're doing that and you just get used to doing that. And then you're so good at doing that back to back to back over and over every single day. And your mind is really in it. It's not a passive thing at all. You're doing really technical things. You're managing like your hands and your like really fine motor skills and balancing, like you said, art and patterns and like which finger you're going to do which thing on and which colors you're going to use and which products and everything like that. There's so much involved to just the act of doing the nails, not even to mention the business end that you're running behind the scenes.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all like in a time crunch. Like, you have to do all of this within this time frame in front of your client. There are a lot of other careers where it's like, oh yeah, you can be given a job, but you can not be face to face with that client. You can kind of step back, think about it, research some things, and come up with a product. No, like as a nail tech, your product, you're coming up with it on the spot right there in front of your client. So like the pressure's on, to execute what they're wanting.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I think it definitely is undervalued in that way. Like it definitely requires a lot of skill.
You're thinking about the type of nails that your client has, the type of products that would be good to use on that particular nail type.
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking about that person's lifestyle and how they use their nails and what shape and length might be better for them.
Yeah.
You're thinking about the chemistry of products. You're making sure that like they're correctly curing their nails. Like you're just doing so much in the moment.
Yeah.
And it requires a lot of knowledge about nail anatomy and product chemistry and things that people don't even realize that nail techs are thinking about while they're working.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of problem solving. Like you might have a client that comes back with like lifting on one specific nail every time. So you're trying different things every time based on what you know about nails, about the chemical components of certain gels and how they're going to work based on the health of the nail plate. And it really is more in depth. It's not just paint that surface. It's how do we actually create a long-lasting, high-quality work of art on someone's nails that they're going to be carrying around for the next few weeks,
Mm-hmm. And the creativity of it too is such a cool like sector of intelligence that you're using on top of that. Which I know you do this way more than I do, but like just the creative aspect of creating something that you haven't even seen before, but like your mind is able to put it like to a nail, which I don't do. That's like not my thing, but you're so talented at it. And that is such a cool way to express creativity within the job itself.
Thank you. Yeah, you give me more credit than I need there because I definitely copy a lot of sets, but even copying sets, like you have to know like the techniques that were used to create what that other tech did, So anyway, you're really nice.
Even like breaking down like layers. I remember like one time I reached out to you because I like saw a nail that was done and I was like, I don't know how to achieve this in a way that will make the nail still look sleek. And like I remember like we texted back and forth and you explained to me like, this is what I would do first. Like do the blooming gel first, flip the nail over, like do that step first, cure that, and then go in with like your chrome or whatever it was.
Yes.
But yeah, you're right. Like figuring out the things, even when you're copying another nail tech, like to know exactly how they did that to recreate it. Yeah. Wow. All these skills, like even just talking through it, I'm like, oh my gosh, we do that like on a regular basis.
We do that. I know. It's crazy.
And then the back end stuff, which is like you're simultaneously while you're doing somebody's nails, you're thinking about what part do I want to film to make the certain video that I want to post about, what type of video it's going to be. You're learning and figuring out how to edit the content for that. And that's just like the marketing social media side of the job, but also like the business side where like you're having appointments be booked with you or you're making appointments, you're managing the finances and taxes and product and inventory, like so much on the back end side that's not while you're painting nails.
Yeah, totally.
And you own the nail suite.
Yes.
And so you're managing other nail techs renting booths from you. And that's a whole other part of it. Tell us a little bit about the management side of that.
Yes. Okay. So that's a whole nother part. So, okay, I will be very real here. Okay.
Let's hear it.
So, of course, when I discovered my passion for nails, I did think in my head, wow, it would be so amazing to have a space that was all my own, like that I could call my own and that I could design however I wanted. And that would just be so amazing to have my own space, either a nail room in my house or a salon. When I actually decided to go through with opening up the nail suite with a lot of encouragement from my mom, she loves business. So she was like, yes, I will help you. We can paint, we can renovate, we can change the flooring, we can do whatever you want.
Shout out to your mom.
I know,
what a supportive queen.
She is. She really is. Yeah, she was like, hey, let's do it. And I said, okay. And I will admit that part of me was relieved, but for the wrong reason about having a salon, because I thought, okay, now that I have a salon, when people ask what I do, I can say I run a salon.
Interesting.
And I hate to admit that, but I really did think that. I was like, okay, yeah, now I can actually kind of like have something that I feel like is impressive, because in my head, doing nails just wasn't impressive enough on its own, which is so wrong, because after what we just talked about, it's obviously very impressive to be a nail tech, but I hate that was in the back of my mind, like, oh man, now I can say that I run a nail tech business, or a salon. So it kind of has been like a practice for me to be like, okay, Sophia, like when you're telling people what you do, or if people ask, or if you're meeting new people, try to challenge yourself a little bit and don't mention that. Like, say that you do the nails, say that you teach nails, say that you love painting nails, and that you're passionate about character art and creating little masterpieces, because in the end, that is what brings me joy, is making the art. Owning a salon, I wouldn't say brings me joy. Like, that is not what I'm passionate about, is owning a salon. I do think that it's really important to create a space where people can pursue their dreams and where they feel joy. But does that make sense? Like, I don't feel joy from running a salon.
Totally.
But I do feel joy from doing nails. And so it's kind of like funny that I feel more comfortable sharing the part of my career that doesn't bring me as much joy, but that I think people will perceive as more impressive.
Interesting. And you're so real for sharing that. Like, thanks for sharing that. That's like so vulnerable of you, but so real and honest that like, it's like, we really just want to feel seen. We want to like be seen as important and valid and intelligent. And it's so sad that like we can't feel that way saying that we do nails.
Or that it's just harder. Because, there are some people that are totally like, yeah, I do nails. I love it, you know? And I'm getting there. Like, I'm definitely like learning and using tools to like help me be more confident in that, because I want to be,
I love that. And from my perspective, I think I've had sort of a mindset shift to just in following my passions and like trying to, in pursuit of like following my dreams, I've just learned that it's hard in its own way. And I think it's so brave and like courageous for people to go like to veer off from what is seen as the right path, or like the, a path that's more impressive or makes more sense or whatever. To veer from that, I think is so brave and courageous in following your passions. And so I just feel like whenever someone's following their dreams, my brother is a musician, and so he's, following his dreams and releasing music and all this stuff. And I'm just like, so like, oh my gosh, it's so cool and impressive in its own different way when people are following their passions and doing something, and especially like making a successful career out of it. Like, I think it's so cool. And from an outside perspective, just like admiring you for so long, like I have, like from an outsider looking into your business, like it feels such a success. I mean, you're so talented, and teaching and just like having a salon suite and everything, it just feels from an outsider perspective, like it's so impressive. So it's so like surprising to hear that it's lesser than that in your mind.
Yeah, I know. For me too. I'm like, why do I feel that way? I don't know. But I think something else that, like, going off of what you said, that gave me courage to kind of pursue this was because my mom, she went to college for biology. She does not like biology. And she did not like biology. And the whole time she was in college, she was like, hating her life studying for those tests. But she thought that that was what she should do to be more successful or smarter or whatever. She worked as like a lab tech in a hospital for a year, and then was like, I can't do this, And since then, she has had a lot of, small businesses and stuff that she's loved and has been passionate about. But I think that she was also another reason why I was like, okay, I should do what I love, because my mom did not go to school for what she loved and she regretted it, you know? So.
And I think a lot of people do that. And I mean, I did that, but I didn't know what else my options are, I guess, were because I never even considered like following a passion. It was just like, well, I got to get a degree and I don't know what to do. So I guess I'll do the one that makes the most amount of sense, you know? And it wasn't something I was like, oh, I'll teach for 3 years. That's how long I'll give myself before I'll like be like, well, if you don't like it, then like you should do something else because, you know, this was never something that you went into being like, this is my lifelong passion. It was just like, guess this is what I gotta do.
Yeah.
So you're not alone in feeling this way. I reached out on my Instagram and like asked people to share about their experiences kind of with this assumption about working in the beauty industry not being a real job. Big air quotes here. And it was so interesting and like really just sort of upsetting what people shared because I had a nail tech share about how her family was just like so unsupportive of her in pursuing nails. And she said that like her parents had this rule, I guess, in their house that if you were, as long as you were pursuing something, you could live in their house rent free. And I think what they really meant was if you're going to college, then you can live rent free because she decided to pursue nails and get her nail tech license. And they told her that she would have to start paying rent. And so that was just like it's such an unsupportive message that like what you're doing is not as important as a different thing that you could be doing.
Yeah.
So that was one. Another just shared about how like her family just generally makes so many comments to her about just her career being lesser than. And then she made a point to say, but like they all don't mind it when it benefits them and when they come and get their nails done or whatever. All of a sudden they're okay with the career that I have, but are less respectful of it. And I thought that was just like kind of ironic that people like degrade it, but then also enjoy the benefits of it, you know? So yeah, I guess with that, I just wanted to just tell everyone listening that, you know, you're not alone in this. This is such a common thing that people feel, but we hopefully can bring a little bit more awareness to it and just help us move toward, you know, a world where our careers are really just respected the same way that everyone else's are.
Yeah.
Another really interesting thing, and just discussing kind of like why we feel like this is the case. Why do we think the industry is devalued in general? I was having an interesting conversation with another nail tech who kind of pointed out just the male-centric way that the world is and how lawyers and doctors are highly respected and given lots of praise, and just a lot of emphasis is put on like men in business and everything like that, and how the beauty industry it's a female-centered business industry. And on top of that, it is more of a creative industry and seen as a nice to have type of a thing, or a not a necessity type of a thing. It's creative and you're, you know, getting together with other women to chat and whatever. And maybe that's a reason why the world sees it as a lesser than industry because of that. And it just made me think about how clients come to us, or like you go to your beauty professional, whether it's your hairstylist, your nail tech, esthetician, like it's the best day of the month. Like it's so fulfilling in a lot of ways than just like seeing somebody that you're friends with, or like just getting your nails painted. Like it's so impactful, and doing things for yourself and self-care, and especially like as women, like taking that time for ourselves is so impactful. I've had clients just like send me messages afterward. Like it was the first time that I was able to relax all week. you know, for the hour and a half that I was with you and just like sit down and chat or not, watch a show. Just like, it was the first time I was able to relax, and I love my nails and they just make me feel like $1,000,000. Like it's such an important thing that we're providing other women.
Yeah, totally. I've had the exact same experience. And I mean, especially I feel that way even more after having been on maternity leave, because I feel like my clients have reached out to me and they're like, oh my goodness, Sophia, I just miss you so much. My nails need you. I need you. Like, not just my nails, like you as a person. Like you really, you know, they say that they just miss being in my chair and talking and catching up on life. And, you know, because I mean, not every person goes to one of their close friends like for a nail appointment. But so I guess what I'm saying is that because nail techs are usually a little more distant from like personal life, people can share things that they wouldn't share with like a close friend or a family member. And it kind of like, you know, takes some load off, which I think is another way that nail techs can really display their intelligence, you know, with empathizing and interacting socially and empathetically, like with their clients, you know?
Totally. And like we joke about how we're kind of part therapist,
right?
You know? Mm-hmm. And it's true. Like you talked about earlier, one of the intelligences of like reading the room and like feeling energies and like shifting energies. And I think that's such an underrated skill of really good nail techs, is being able to make their client feel really comfortable.
Yeah.
And being able to adapt that to like different types of clients and just understanding like how they like to be treated, how they feel most comfortable in that scenario for an hour and a half. And that's a really important skill of like really good nail techs that's going to keep so many clients coming back.
Yeah. I also think something that has helped me understand my client and service them a little better is just thinking about how I want to be serviced. And I remember that there was a hair appointment day where I was like so down that day, but I was getting my hair done and I was like, wow, I just can't wait to have someone like wash my hair, blow dry my hair and just like relax. And I thought that probably the energy that I carried in there was kind of a more exhausted, low-key, kind of tired energy. And I was like, hoping that my provider would kind of match that. But wow, like I got like question after question after question. And it's like, okay, to be in the beauty industry, you don't always have to be like, so, you know, talk and question. And how's this? How's that? You know, like I think that it's totally okay to be quiet for some appointments and to, you know, hey, my client seems kind of quiet. All right, let's just turn up the music a little bit. And like chill, you know? And I think that that helps your clients really feel like seen and heard and empathized with and cared for.
Totally. And I, especially when you're doing back-to-back appointments, I never mind as the nail tech. It's like, I don't mind to stop chatting for a while because I've been chatting for a while now. I'm ready to be quiet and listen to some music and just, you know, put my head down and get to work. And so what we're doing is so valuable for other people. There's so much value in our jobs. And one thing I wanted to ask you about, because you, we had kind of mentioned talking about like just feeling more confident in the job that we're giving, or, you know, the job that we do, feeling more confident in our careers and everything. How have you found you are able to kind of like balance the confidence without being like cocky? You are such a good example of this because you're so, I feel like you exude this like confidence, and in no way are you like cocky or arrogant about it at all. How do you kind of like strike that balance?
Oh, well, first, thank you so much. That is so nice. I think I was always really worried about this balance. And I almost thought like, oh, if I think poorly of myself, then that will be better. Like I'll for sure not seem cocky if I myself, you know, talk my job down and, you know, self-deprecate and, you know, kind of, I don't know, like, but I think that, some of the ways to balance like confidence and not being cocky is through the adjectives that you use to describe your job. So I think being really objective with what you do really says whether you're like confident or cocky. So for example, I can say, I specialize in high-end gel manicures. That's not really cocky at all because you're stating a fact, you know, like that's objectively what you do. But if you follow it with, yeah, it's not really like a big deal, and you like try to de-escalate it and you kind of try to like talk really fast and, you know, fill the silence afterwards, you know, like you just seem not confident. And so part of confidence is knowing just when to stop talking, you know, because I always feel like I try to over-explain or justify or show value, you know, I don't know, try to over-explain like why I'm doing what I'm doing. But really I can just say, yeah, I run a nail business. Perfect. Like, I think that cockiness comes when you use adjectives that are more opinion-based and not so objective. Kind of like, I have an incredible salon. I don't know. It just seems like a little more like, okay, like, why did you have to add incredible in there? I don't know. Like, that's my personal opinion. Or like, yeah, I make insane nail art. I don't know. I just think like when you add, which you can think that. And I think that, you know, it's good to believe that you really are amazing at nail art and you have an incredible business. But when you introduce it like that, I mean, it kind of like does the opposite for you.
That's such an interesting point, because it's like what they're trying to do is like maximize or like emphasize what they're doing is important.
Yes.
But it can come off more in showing like more of who you are as a person.
Yes.
Than anything about the business that you have.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like if you just state what you do objectively, people have no reason to think that it's a poor career choice or that you're bad at it or whatever, you know? So,
yeah. And it's like, maybe people don't think that as often as we think they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
When we're telling them what we do in our careers and everything.
Yes.
Maybe they aren't even thinking that. And so we're in our heads thinking they're thinking it, but they're not. Maybe they're not actually as much as we think that they are.
Yeah, for sure. That's actually part of a therapy thing that has helped me.
Yeah.
Is like reframing thinking errors. Because a lot of the times we have these errors in our thinking that are making us feel a certain way, one of which is mind reading, like you just mentioned. So thinking, they think I'm dumb. They're thinking that I could never do any other career except for this. I'm not capable of anything except for this. Like, you know, when you start mind reading, there's no evidence behind it. It's kind of like just your own insecurity talking to you in your head. So instead, what you can say in your mind is, you know, they might think that, but they also might think that I'm awesome. You know, like you can mind read both ways, but our brain defaults to the negative, you know? And so I think that, yeah, mind reading is definitely one that you can catch yourself doing and think, oh, thinking error. Okay, what's the truth? Actually, I don't know what they're thinking, but I can just care about what I think of me and not what they're thinking, you know?
I always remember this like TikTok that I saw about this guy explaining sort of the same theory or idea that like when we're mind reading somebody else and if we're in our head are assuming that they're thinking something negative about us, then we're the ones judging them.
Yes.
Like we're assuming that they are a mean person.
Yes.
And so it's like,
so true.
We're being judgmental, thinking they're judging us for whatever it is.
Right. Yes. Yep. It's true. And I think, I mean, there are reasons why people might judge people to be mean people. And I think it's due to another thinking error, which is overgeneralization. Like maybe you did have one experience where somebody was rude about your career, or you've heard about someone being rude. And so you assume everyone is rude about this career.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you are judging everyone to be that mean person. But really, that was just one experience, you know?
Right.
So yeah, it's interesting.
Hopefully this isn't too personal of a question, but if you don't want to answer, just say so.
Uh-huh.
But I'm curious, like kind of where you're at in your journey of, I know you mentioned like you've worked through sort of the idea of this in therapy. Like where are you at in your journey of like accepting or like feeling a higher importance about your career?
Well, I definitely still have insecurities. And I think that it's something that I wish I didn't have, but I also have a husband who is a computer scientist, you know, software development guy. And in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, he is so smart. Like, how can I even compare to him? Like, you know, but I do think that when I actually think about what I do and what I've created, and people who reach out to me saying that something I taught or showed on my page or in person really helps them, like I feel so fulfilled. And that is like what gives me confidence, which probably should not be like what gives me confidence. I should just be confident in what I'm doing. But I think especially like as a mom now, where to go with this? I like don't really know how I feel.
Yeah.
Like I feel like mixed feelings because I feel like I want to be really confident, like to show my daughter like you should be confident in whatever you want to do. But then I still definitely have like insecurities, you know, and I'm trying to not let them get in the way, but sometimes they just do, and it's like frustrating.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to answer that.
So real for that. And honestly, like I relate to so much of what you're saying in my own journey of starting another business, you know, another like a beauty tech startup, you know, that's like I find myself having to do a lot of things that in my mind, like when I started the Beauty Connective, it was like, you know, I'm going to have this great thing that people are going to be able to use, and it's going to be this great tool. And I never like thought about all of the random like little things that were going to be, you know, part of my job title moving forward, you know, a year later of, you know, having shareholder meetings and reading operating agreements and equity agreements and just all this stuff that I never thought was supposed to be my job. I just never thought about it. I didn't know what I didn't know. And here I am doing stuff that I'm like, okay, everybody, I need this explained to me 20 different times till it's going to make sense because my brain just doesn't like do that. And so I relate to a lot of what you're saying is like, I want to feel confident, like move forward in what I'm doing. But I also am just like, am I really cut out for this? Because this is all weird stuff that I never really thought I signed up for, and I don't understand this very well. And it takes a lot of like patience with myself to understand things and like keep trying to understand them even when they don't make sense. And so anyway, you're not alone. And I totally feel that same sentiment. It's hard.
Yeah. I think it's also hard when you're your own business owner, because somebody who's hired by a company, they have a specific role that they're given and that they are to master and just execute, you know. But when you have kind of free reign on your own career and that possibilities are endless, you feel a lot of doubt and questioning. Is this the best possible choice? And is this the best possible route that I could go? Or am I selling myself short? You know?
And it's one of those things, like you said, paving your own path, having free reign with your career. There's so much possibility to it. And it's really cool when you think about that being the case. It's like, wow, you really there's so much potential here. There's so much possibility. With that comes like an equal amount of uncertainty because it's not guaranteed and you don't know exactly what it's going to look like. It's more risky. So it's scarier in a lot of ways. So it really is like kind of, you're dealing with both of those things, paving your own path. I personally think it's worth it every time. And like I said, I'm just like so encouraging of anyone like following their dreams and following their passions, but it's not an easy path.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not to mention, for anyone that's just like thinking of getting into the beauty industry, it can be incredibly lucrative. You can make a lot of money in the beauty industry. And I don't know if that's, talked about enough, that college degrees and careers from a college degree are just one path. I personally have made way more money than I did ever as a teacher using my college degree, which is insane and like so cool.
Yeah, totally. I think that, interestingly enough, I think that could also be another reason why sometimes the career is devalued, because the range is so big on how much you could earn, because there are some part-time nail techs who are charging like really low and maybe don't make as much. There are some nail techs that's what they do full time. And when you stack that many clients in a day and you're teaching and you're, selling online content and doing all this other stuff, your salary could be like huge, like way more than a lot of people who, went to college for their careers. So I don't know. I think that could also be a reason why people are like, well, if it's not really consistent, then maybe it's not as valuable. If nail techs aren't consistently, making more than doctors, then, then not as valuable.
You can't put like a set number on a nail tech salary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can't.
So true.
So I think that might be another reason, I also think, I think sometimes, honestly, people are kind of like jealous that it's so fun. Like, it's so fun. And I think that a lot of times, not just with nails, but people kind of like to almost brag like about how hard their job is. Like, oh yeah, I'm working 80-hour weeks and
badge of honor.
Badge of honor. Or even like with, giving birth, like some women are like, oh yeah, like I didn't have an epidural. This whole thing happened. Like, this was way harder, so therefore must be more valuable or more impressive. But it's like, actually, no, like I gave birth too, and I didn't have that experience, and that's just equally as valuable. So the hardness of something or the funness of something doesn't give it value. It's like what the skills and trade and job actually is that give it value.
Totally. That's such a good point. That's so interesting that you said that. And like you said, it brings you so much joy. And how freaking cool that you get to make money and build a life off of a career that you enjoy so much.
Yes. Yeah, it's awesome. It is. Doesn't mean it's easy though.
Exactly.
Because people, musicians, I'm sure your brother, like he loves making music, but is that easy? Like, no, like that is so hard to do. And same with, marathon running is not a career. Sure, maybe it could be a career competitively, but people, even though it's something that's really hard, like doesn't mean that it's more valuable than something that you just truly enjoy,
right? And is, giving so much value to people.
Yeah.
Well, I want to ask you if there's anything else that you wanted to include in here before we kind of wrap it up.
Let's see.
I love this conversation, by the way.
Yeah, it's so good. I love it too. Maybe just like one other thing like that I'm trying to work on to have confidence when I am sharing with someone what my career is and like why I chose it. Because I can seriously feel the anxiety setting in when I know that conversation's about to come up. Like if we first meet someone and you're just starting small talk and you know that, oh, so what do you do is going to come up. And then in my head, I'm already thinking like, what should I say? Should I say that I sell online content? Should I say that I do nails? Should I say that I am an instructor? Should I say, like, I just start overthinking and it's just like, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to say to like sound not dumb, First off, there are like 3 things that you can do. One is to just ground yourself. So when you start to like feel anxious, you'll notice your shoulders kind of coming in, your head tipping down, your pace in your speeding up. So just pause and like roll your shoulders back and like keep your chin up. And that tells you, okay, this is not threatening, Then second is to think about what you're actually doing. Like you're not being tested or evaluated when somebody asks what you do. You're just informing. You're just telling them objectively like what you do. They're not testing to see like if you're worthy or valuable based on what you do, you know? And then third is to just slow down the rate at which you talk and then follow it with silence. Like try to not explain yourself. Try to not self-deprecate. Try to not deflect. Try to not switch the conversation. Just, I specialize in structured gel and manicures. Period. You know?
Yeah.
And then if people like are interested, and usually people just follow it by like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Like, how did you get into that? And what's your favorite part? And whatever. But, cause one thing I thought of is like, if I asked somebody what they did for their career and they were like, oh yeah, I mean, I like make balloon animals like at a zoo and I just, yeah, I don't know. It's just, you know, like if they just kind of start to over explain, I would think, wow, they must not like their job. Like that's sad.
Yeah.
Like, why are they doing that if they don't like it? I would assume they don't like it if they're trying to like explain or convince me that their job is valuable, you know? And so I don't want people to think that about like me with nails. I don't want them to think like, wow, that's kind of sad that she's doing that. And she doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Like, I want people to know that I like it, you know, that I like, that I love my job. And you can kind of show that by not over explaining yourself, you know? So
it made me think when you were saying that about like kind of just like calming yourself down when you're getting anxious about people asking you even the question, like it reminded me of that video I've seen where it's like, I just had to set a boundary with a client, but my nervous system thinks I was being chased by a gorilla or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like just when you said, just remind yourself like what you're actually doing, where you actually are, what's actually happening. You're not being chased by a lion or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Like fix your posture, like stand up a little taller. It's okay. Like you're just saying what you do.
Yeah.
As a career, you know? So
what advice would you give anyone who is just struggling, feeling confidence in their career or struggling with like people not supporting them because they don't view their career as worthwhile? What advice would you give?
I would say first and foremost, you need to change how you feel about you before you change how others feel about you. Because first off, you can't change how others feel about you or how they view your career, but you can change how you view yourself. And it makes me think of like when somebody is performing on stage and you can kind of hear the nervousness like in their voice, you almost kind of like feel nervous like for them. And you're kind of like, oh my gosh, like kind of just stressed as well. And so if you are kind of apologetic or embarrassed or nervous, like about your job as a nail tech, people are going to feel that way as well. And so I would say maybe think about what it is exactly that you're doing as a nail tech, like everything we talked about, everything it requires, and really realize how valuable you are. And honestly, if you're not valuable, it's okay to like ask your clients what they love about your services. I do not get more of a freaking dopamine hit than when I get a good Google review. Like, I'm sorry. I know that we're supposed to have confidence just in ourselves and not based on what other people think, right? But I will say that if you need help with that, people like have your back. Like, yes, there are some that maybe don't, but a lot do. And a lot are so supportive and want to pump you up. And, you know, like people that you wouldn't really think are that impressed by you, like really are. Like my husband's uncle. Like every time that I see him, he's like, hey, how's that nail business of yours? Like, how are you doing? Yeah, I was looking at your page. And like, he's always like looking at my page and it's like the sweetest thing. So yeah, I would say first, just try to realize how valuable you are. If you need help, ask people. And slowly, like as you start to feel more confident, people will be more confident in you and start to realize like, hey, nail techs are like really cool.
They really are. For anyone thinking about getting into the industry, becoming a nail tech, getting your license, like do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Do it.
It's the
You
best
will
job
not
ever.
regret it. You will
Yeah.
not regret it.
Well, thank you so much for being here today. I just have loved chatting with you. Where can everybody find you and follow along with you or get your education and just see what you're up to?
Oh, thank you for asking. Yeah, my Instagram is nail art by Sofia with an F followed by an underscore.
Okay.
So sorry, kind of confusing. Nail art by Sofia with an F underscore. And yeah, I have a link tree there that you can get access to any of my online pre-recorded classes or links to products that I like to use. And that's kind of where you can find me. If you need a place to work, if you want to work at the nail suite, then I'll provide you with a really pretty room and a nice desk and really awesome nail techs that will either share a desk or share a room or something with you. And it's a blast. So
awesome. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Beauty Connective podcast. If you're a beauty professional who wants to help us revolutionize the beauty industry and make it easier for clients to find you and for you to find clients, create your profile today at thebeautyconnective.com.